Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
Where we continue to follow the capture and killing of Osama bin Laden now.
Those are just some of the scenes overnight as thousands of Americans gathered in celebration of Osama bin Laden's death.
Former Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill says he has thought about the mission every day since that May Day in 2011.
For multiple conversations you had with Rob O'Neill over the past year and a half, how'd you get
access? And you described that his head kind of exploded when you hit him.
I actually hit him 3 times because I shot him twice when he was standing and once on the ground.
That is the fucking American badass right there.
We are not going for fame and we are not going for bravado. We are going for the single mom who dropped her kids off at elementary school on a Tuesday morning, and then 45 minutes later she jumped to her death out of a skyscraper.
If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
I'm Rob O'Neill, and this is the Operator Podcast. Here it is, episode 141. We're rolling into the month of August, which is great. Summer is not over. August is actually the hottest month, isn't it? I think it is. It's going to be good. I'm getting getting my baby into the ocean. It's fun to do swimming lessons in the ocean. I love getting her in there. August seems to be the best month, especially on the East Coast. We used to do swims all the time at SEAL Team 2, and August is my favorite month. February being my least favorite because even though the bus rides to the swim were fun, the swims were not in February, but then during the August months, it would be cool because you do the bus ride to the state park, which is right near Fort Story. You run around the woods a little bit. I don't know, usually 4 or 5 mile run, and then you finish at the ocean front. You do an ocean swim in August, which is great. Didn't do that in February because you would die. But yeah, August is a great month. We're still here, so but we're kind of cranking it up. I think this is one of those times of year good where everyone gets some vacations, kind of like the month of December where everyone's prepped for Christmas, and then you get to Christmas, and then there are a few days off after Christmas, and in between that and New Year, before everyone hops to the gym with their New Year's resolution, where you don't really work, and late July, after the 4th of July, good. It's a much needed rest, but we're going to kind of crank it up here. I've got a couple exciting things happening in the last part of 2025, which I'm pumped about. Going to collaborate with some people and try to get some new stuff out there. So it's fun. I just got back from Mexico. I did another Ibogaine treatment. I'm rocking the Legalized Ibogaine shirt just because it's one of those things where you can wear it around and you get noticed. People that know what Ibogaine is, I've been pulled aside and they asked kind of what it was. It says Legalized Ibogaine. I don't mean just sell it at the cannabis stores or at the pharmacies. I'm not trying to say legalize Ibogaine like we legalized cannabis, but I couldn't fit. We really should get Ibogaine into all of the VAs in the country because it really helps with everything from PTSD, suicide prevention to, it'll cure heroin overnight. So we should have Ibogaine here with doctors and nurses, giving it to patients. That didn't fit on a t-shirt, so Legalize Ibogaine with the Iboga root on there kind of fits. Actually, too, if you want to support him, too, at robertjo'neil.com, you can get Legalize Ibogaine, Front Towards Enemy shirts, stuff like that, everything that we're doing. We're going to crank up some new stuff there, too, which will be fun this year. But for Legalize Ibogaine, if you do a little... And I'm going to talk about Ibogaine today. I've talked about Ibogaine before. It's kind of getting some traction because it works. I'm going to talk about my most recent journey. It's different every time. This one was a little more terrifying, but I think it worked better, and I'll explain that too. But the more people that do it and understand, some people don't quite understand it yet. They think it's a psychedelic, and I've heard Congress say that it's a club drug, which is not true. On this trip too, I've been fortunate. 2 out of my 3 trips I've been with combat veterans, mainly special operators right now, but I think there are so many veterans out there, first responders, anyone with any kind of post-traumatic stress or any anxiety, stuff like that. And like I said, everything, I think from fertility to anxiety, hyper-awareness, just basically chill mode. Ibogaine really helps. It's a fun journey. It's not a fun journey. It's a horrifying journey. But it really shakes everything loose, and I think it's necessary. And this is my third trip to Mexico to do Ibogaine, and I wouldn't do it so many times if I didn't love the after effect. I don't necessarily love the treatment itself. It has its ups and downs, but the after effect, like where I'm at right now, is very, very peaceful. I love it. I wish everyone could feel this kind of peace, especially nowadays. It doesn't help with choking on your own, what have you, in your mouth. But we're going to get into that. A couple other things to discuss. A few, current event stuff. But I'm in such a peaceful place, I don't feel like getting angry about anything. Even though life does get hectic, I'm a lot more chill right now. Plus, like I said, it's August. I'll be in the ocean very soon. But not before I got in the studio so I could talk to my fellow operators out there and see how everyone's doing this summer, especially as we, again, roll into August. At first, though, I want to talk about a new sponsor of the show called Hexclad. And Hexclad is just insane how cool it is. Hexclad, it's cooking utensils and pans and stuff like that so that you can cook. My wife tells me I'm not bragging, for a change. My wife told me that I was I never should have been someone going out and hunting people. I should have been a chef. That's more my mentality because I'm generally a peaceful person. I'd rather tell jokes than send ammo or rounds downrange. I know I'll get in trouble if I say bullets, ammo, rounds downrange. I hate a downrange. Did you ever hear someone say downrange? I never cared for that. Downrange. I mean, unless you're on a range and you got to say downrange, then obviously downrange. But okay. But with my wife said I should have been a chef. I do love to cook, and I'm a believer that if you can read, you can cook, and it's just fun to experiment. But I found out Hexclad right off the bat. What I loved about them is how it was safe to use with metal utensils. Another thing the wife and I fight about. I got yelled at when I was two of my roommates at SEAL Team 2. There was two roommates, so let me do the math. Three of us in a house. I remember getting yelled at for the first time using metal utensils in Mike Sauer's cookware. He yelled at me. Didn't yell at me. He said, you shouldn't do that. I didn't know any better. I was never taught how to cook or anything. Using the metal utensils. Anyway, long story short, my wife sometimes does that, and I pull the Mike Sauers and yell at her. No offense, Mike. Love you, buddy. I'm just messing around, but you did teach me that. I'll tell my wife, I don't want on some of my cookware, don't use metal utensils, don't put them in the dishwasher. But I found out Hexclad, they're metal utensils safe and they're dishwasher safe. So that's cool. Plus, I love making omelets for my daughter. She loves a good cheese omelet. I love good omelets. I make them for her every day. And the hybrid technology makes them the perfect non-stick pans, especially when you do the flippity-dippity. 17-month-old girl loves to see that. Plus, with the hardest part of making eggs, if you're making fried eggs or over easy, the flip is the most important part. If you break an egg, you're basically a jerk. But for me anyway, that's the hardest part. So that's why I love Hexclad. I've used other pans and they don't compare. Hexclad, it's safe to use in the oven too, up to 500 degrees. Because like I said, I like to get fancy schmancy. And when you're taking stuff off the stovetop and into the oven, you just look cool. It's also grill season. Like I said, it's August. So if you're the kind of guy that takes pride in a perfectly seared steak or just looking cool at your neighbor's barbecue, time to stop messing around with flimsy kitchen gear. With Hexclad, the cookware, it's as serious about performance as you are about your meat thermometer, and this isn't that non-stick pan that you see on social media. You order it, use it a few times, and then it's not non-stick. This is legit. And Hexclad gives you the perfect sear, crazy durable, easy cleanup. You don't need to coddle the cookware. Like I said, it's dishwasher safe. It's stainless steel strength, toxin-free, non-stick convenience, and yeah, they look sexy as hell on your stovetop. But let's not sleep on the real game changer. Hexclad's Japanese Damascus steel knives. Got to go check those out. Stupid sharp, perfectly balanced. Nothing cooler with a sharp knife than it's balanced. Makes it look like you paid attention in your underwater knife fighting classes. Tough enough to handle everything from carving up tomahawk ribeyes. Love a good ribeye. Dicing up onions like a professional chef. I was even cutting them up some yellow watermelons for my daughter yesterday, and it made me look like I knew what I was doing. They're so cool. Basically, you're going to feel like a chef, even if your signature dish is just ribeye, meat, more meat. Because Hexclad doesn't mess around. Everything comes with a lifetime warranty. Buy it once, use it forever. Right now, though, you can get 10% off your order with our exclusive link. Just head to hexclad.com/theoperator. HEXCLAD.com/theoperator. Level up your kitchen before the next cookout, and you're going to cook better with Hexclad. Japanese Damascus steel, which just sounds cool. These knives, not just tools, they are works of art designed to make your time in the kitchen effortless. These knives are forged from 67 layers of premium, like I said, Japanese Damascus steel, giving you incredible durability and edge retention. And just like all Hexclad products, lifetime warranty. They're induction ready if you have one of those stoves or ovens, and they have a stay cool handle when you're sauteing. Just like you're using a weapon, treat every pan as if it's hot, but you don't need to worry here. Stay cool handle. You can do everything with ease. And Hexclad's patented laser-etched hexagonal steel ridges boost the searing power. Bottom line, these are the best pans you're ever going to own. I love Gordon Ramsay uses them in his kitchen, and actually, if you don't make me make him come to your house and yell at you. But take pride not just in your perfectly grilled steak, but in the exceptional tools you use to create it. So for a limited time, get 10% off Hexclad with our exclusive link, hexclad.com/theoperator. Again, hexclad.com/theoperator. And you can support the show with gear as serious as your passion. Let Hexclad know we sent you and experience the ultimate upgrade in your kitchen with Hexclad's superior performance. Hexclad.com/theoperator. I was able, I almost have my voice back too. If you listen to the podcast a couple of weeks ago, I was losing my voice. So I'm getting it back, which is good. If I do choke anything up on this episode, I apologize. Trying not to, but yeah, we're back, which is good. I went to Mexico for Ibogaine treatment through Ambio Solutions, with the help of Veterans Exploring Treatment Solutions, which is run by Amber Capone and Marcus Capone. He's a former SEAL Team 6 operator. I've talked about it before. You've probably been hearing about it as well. I've done it. I don't know if I just mentioned this, but this is my third trip. I'm not bragging. I've just been down there a couple times because I think it works. Regardless of how well it works, I think it's good to get a refresher. Whenever I feel myself getting just angry about stuff, it's time. Because with post-traumatic stress, with stuff that we've seen, not just combat vets, people who have done stuff, people who have lived life, you might have some stress. And it's usually around July that I have to do a reset, which I did last year in July. I just did this year in July. I don't remember. It was right around, it was November, a year before that, which was necessary. It's good to scrape stuff out. The system down there is really cool, and you got to open up. I've been fortunate the last 2 times I've gone through. It's been with special operators. A year ago, I went through with some SF guys, some Green Berets, a guy from Delta, myself, which was awesome. That was when I was I've always known that there are people out there with real combat vets. I mean, in my experience, with very, very difficult jobs. Some of the gunfights these Green Berets were in, I could not believe. This is a year ago when I was talking to him. That was my first time really sitting down with SF dudes. I've worked with every branch. I've seen Space Force, never really worked with them, but they weren't around when I was getting out back in 2012. God, I'm old. But hearing some of the stories, I remember them telling me about driving around Afghanistan, especially near Kandahar, stuff like that, out east near Jabad. But the Kandahar stories, the Helmand Province stuff that they were telling me, stories about just stories I couldn't really imagine. Like I remember I've been in I just released a video of one of the gunfights I was in that was the longest gunfight I've ever been in, was just a little over 4 hours, which is insane. To me, a long gunfight was 3 minutes on our targets because we had a chance to pick our targets. We want to be in and out before the sun comes up for obvious reasons. But to hear some of the stories of these Green Berets getting in fights that lasted for 3 days, like gunfights, moving around villages, driving, and that's just stressful too. Just driving in those places, especially Afghanistan. There's only so many roads, wondering when you're going to blow up, seeing people blow up, losing your friends. Crazy stuff. And then obviously talking with one of the guys from Delta last time I went through some of his stories, a little more up-tempo, some of the sexy jobs, which is, let's be honest. One of the sexiest jobs you can do, which Delta owned in Iraq, was the vehicle interdictions off of Little Birds. I mean, hunting people off of helicopters when they're trying to drive. Look, I don't want to give advice to bad guys at all because I don't care. But I don't give a shit what boat you're on, what motorcycle, what Jihad 250 or Nissan Versa you're driving through the mountain. You're not going to outrun a little bird. You're not going to outrun the Blackhawks. And you're not going to outrun the fastest bird we have, which is the 47, the Chinook. But just hearing, like, my buddy from Delta, his job all summer, one of these summers, a long time ago, because we're not in Iraq right now, another story we should talk about. But his job was leaving BIAP, Baghdad International Airport. We're good at shortening everything to make it sound cool. With acronyms and we love those, man. We love, in the military, especially the Army, the more that we love, the only thing we love more than abbreviations and acronyms is a PowerPoint. And they will put, for all the veterans out there that have been, not even a combat vet, dudes, before 9/11, dudes on a sub, not that you're not in combat, you guys are basically the ones, the sub guy. We'll get into the sub guys and why they're so important. But if you've seen a communicator, be it a Navy comms guy, an Army commo, or a CCT, they're not as bad. The CCT guys are they're the most professional communicators. No offense to anybody. But man, ever seen the matrix that they throw up for the comm plan? And the crypto and all that shit during a PowerPoint brief? Holy shit, there's a lot of stuff on there. But during Baghdad International Airport, this squadron from Delta, their job was VIs, and that's just cool. But just to hear him tell the stories of, like, I mean, it's awesome when you're a 27-year-old stud from Delta and you're like blasting dudes. But as you get older, I'm an optimist. I don't say I'm almost 50. I say I'm almost halfway to 100. But I mean, you're talking with little birds. You're sitting on a pod, which is that kick-ass little, like a little bird's. Let me describe it without getting all technical. A little bird is a little bird. It's a little helicopter with a pod on the side, which is a bench, and you sit on it. And I've been on, I don't know how many times, a lot on little birds, just even in training. We have some video footage out there when we did realistic urban training, a trip in Portland, where we're flying little birds around downtown Portland. This is back when Portland was semi-normal. It's still the People's Republic of Portland, with Keep Portland Weird, but a bunch of dudes rolling around in little birds and Blackhawks in Portland. That didn't freak out Antifa at all. I remember watching TV too when this is back before COVID, obviously, way before. So I still believed in some real shit, and these conspiracy theories weren't real. But I mean, now after COVID, like, yeah, the Earth's flat, and the Titanic was hit with a torpedo, and there are aliens here, and the moon's a space station, it's hollow, and it's closer than we think, and the sun's not real. Anyway, watching the leftists and Antifa, it wasn't even Antifa at the time, it was just normal Portland people. But like, black helicopters here, George Bush is invading Portland, even though we wouldn't invade Portland because technically Portland is still part of the country. I was a little pissed that tsunami that started in Russia from that huge earthquake didn't flood Portland a little bit, because if any place needs a bath, it's fucking Portland, peppered with Seattle and Northern California. But anyway, we were flying around there, and it was just cool. I've never sat on the pod of a little bird and taken off, especially on like a lip landing on a skyscraper. We did that in LA too, on the tallest building, that round one. The first thought when you take off in a little bird is, chicks dig this. Seriously. And we even had those little lanyards. If you've ever used a lanyard, put it in the comment section at the Operator Podcast. There's a little lanyard that we would like hitch around our belt loop or our belt and hook it to ourselves, and that'll keep you from falling off. I never bought that. I've never seen anyone fall off and seen one of the lanyards hold anybody. But what I would do for safety, instead of hooking my lanyard in, I would just say, don't fall off the little bird. Don't fall out. Especially when I trust those pilots too, man. TF-160, the best pilots in the world. But this Delta dude was telling me how, because they could just, like a TF-160, best pilots in the world. Can't say enough about them. They're the heroes out there. They get us. SEAL Team 6, Delta, even the dumb guys like me who are smart enough to carry a sledgehammer and a gun and go where you're told. The pilots are going to get you there, and the air crew is going to get you, keep the bird flying and tell you what's what. But they can. I mean, I'm convinced if they had proper clearance, a little bird with TF-160 flying, Night Stalkers don't quit, could fly through your front door into your living room, pick you up, and take you to the deli. Get a good ass Reuben. Get one for the pilots, and don't forget the crew chief. Yeah. Even crew chiefs, I don't think, are on little birds, are they? Yeah, they are. I know there's mechanics. I know they are on this. Anyway, don't judge me. I know I'm going to get hit on something because I'm sure there are people out there that say, you're lying. You've never been on a Little Bird suite. But yeah, the Delta guy was telling me, like, sometimes they'd maneuver around because you're going to stop. And a lot of these martyrs that are driving these stupid vehicles are fitting their 3 homies on the back of their little jihad motorbike. They think they can fight. They think they can outrun. So the Little Birds are maneuvering. He was telling me carrying a 60 or a 240 Bravo, whatever the shit, high-speed bell-fed machine gun, like almost landing on the front, the hood of a car, like eye to eye with the driver and the passenger, and then going hot with a 60. That's badass. But eventually it's going to wear on you. I mean, eventually you're going to remember the look in people's eyes. So we're all a little nuts. Hearing the Green Beret stories about the gunfights they're in, unfortunately the casualties, horrible stories about, trying to put your buddy back together after he's been blown in half. The older you get and the more you reflect on stuff, I think comes with experience, and we all get a little bit nuts, all of us. And even the people who are just angry out there and talking shit about everything, especially the mindset I'm in right now. I mean, a lot of guys need healing. And this isn't even like this is. Some guys think that needing healing is a sign of weakness. That's not the case at all. And with Ibogaine, it's not like you're just being a pussy and taking drugs so you can go to a club. This is an event. This is a commitment. Ibogaine is not fun, but a lot of us need it. I remember talking to, speaking of TF-160, when we were flying with Al Mack, the finest 47 pilot in the history of 47 pilots. I would say Al Mack is the best pilot. And I'm not trying to offend, but I think Al Mack is the best pilot in the history of the military, in the history of helicopters. So when we were flying with him, I have a shirt, actually, I've worn it before, that says, I know Al Mack. Razor 03 is his book. Go check out Razor 03. I got to get him on here. Just a fine individual, but we made T-shirts to say, I know Al Mack, because he was that cool. But one of the guys that was flying with us in the Sharana deployment, I'll find videos of that too. I posted a video the other day of a gunfight I was in. I'm going to post more that I find. I wasn't like a lot of these dudes on the internet. I didn't take a lot of pictures. I didn't record a lot of stuff, because what I was doing, it's weird, I was trying to win the fight and then get my guys out, that was kind of my thing. Other guys took a lot of videos, so I'm kind of looking for those on YouTube, which nowadays is where people get their info, because that's 100% legit. YouTube some days is just Reddit with video. So if you want some filth and hate, go to YouTube, check out what some of these guys are saying. But one of the guys I was with on a Sharana deployment with, again, TF-160, very fortunate. I'm convinced one of the reasons I was never shot, actually no one in my team was ever hurt in over 400 missions. Not maybe, I don't know. A lot of it had to do with the pilots that got us there. A lot of it had to do with us being really, really smart about our tactics. But none of my guys were hurt. A lot of it had to do with TF-160. But I remember one guy in particular, we got in a weird fight in these mountains. A lot of it had to do with vehicle interdictions. We were fortunate to get to hunt in Afghanistan. What a lot of these guys would do, and I'll post a video. I found a video of some of our vehicle interdictions. They would make IEDs in Afghanistan so they could have them ready to plant in Afghanistan. They'd make them all day, and they knew we'd come get them at night. So what they would do is right around the time that the sun was going down, they would start to head back to Pakistan so they can get a good night's sleep. Problem is they had to make it back to Pakistan, and that's where we come in. Because in Afghanistan, we didn't use little birds. We'd use the 60s sometimes, but mainly the 47s, the Chinooks, which is awesome. So we'd go after them. We'd get into mountain. We'd find ourselves in spots, people trying to leave. And people trying to get back to Afghanistan are generally Taliban, Haqqani, sometimes Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda, they kind of got out of Afghanistan. I think, yeah, my team, 3 of us, me and I think DJ was there. I know a couple of the guys. Well, it was when I was a team leader at Red Squadron. I was running outstations. We actually rolled up the last Al-Qaeda guy who was in the Konar province, Abu Ikhlas al-Mazri, I think was his name. I could be wrong. I'm sure I'll get called out because that probably didn't happen either. But we did that. Anyway, one of the door gunners, when I post these videos, you're going to hear a gun that sounds like it's like A10 Junior. It's a minigun, 7.62, that has 2 triggers on it. And you can decide if you want to fire from 2,000 rounds a minute to 4,000 rounds a minute. You want to start with 2,000. Let that bad boy warm up. It's a Gatling gun style, 6 barrels, rocking off actually, I'm going to say this just to see how you guys respond. 2,000 bullets a minute or 4,000 bullets a minute. But we were landing somewhere one time because it can get sketch. Sometimes you go into spots where, look, the only time the perfect plan exists is in the planning room. Sometimes you land right on top of an Al-Qaeda training camp or just where they're camping out and it's just on. We landed somewhere like that one time, and I was in the other bird, but allegedly, again, better fact check everything nowadays. The door gunner was a new guy, probably a specialist, an E4, but his job was running the minigun, which is great. And they landed somewhere to insert some of my team or some Rangers. We worked with Rangers quite a bit. That was always awesome too, especially in the mountains or in a mount scenario, military operations, urban terrain, to have Rangers with you because Rangers were just awesome because they're kind of like a master key, Rangers, because we're gonna silently try to hit this target and we're gonna put some Rangers on the corners. Just in case we go hot in this urban environment or this mountain environment, they can handle it. And I'm actually getting goosebumps right now when you hear Rangers outside going hot. It just lifts your spirits. It's almost like we got in so many gunfights. It wasn't even a adrenaline. It's just more of a smile and all right, this night just got interesting because the Rangers are getting it. So they'll be outside getting it. When you hear them, especially with the 240, or they go hot with the Carl Gustav, man, you're gonna win. And the good thing about Rangers is if it starts to get overwhelmed, you know what you can do? You can call more Rangers. It just gets cool. A lot of good stories about them. But they were inserting someone, either part of my team, part Rangers, or combined. But they landed on the spot in a mountain where there was Al-Qaeda. Right? Well, okay. Let's take a step back. There were bad guys, armed bad guys right there. Military-aged males. Fighting age males, if you will. They landed right there, and one dude was like inside where the rotors are, right there, and he just happened to stand up right in front of the minigun. So this specialist got his first kill in Afghanistan with a minigun, like at danger close. I did see this dude. I'm going around my ass to get to my elbow about post-traumatic stress. Dude's first kill was with a minigun, and he wasn't quite sure how to handle that because normally you're thinking like. Door gunner, Vietnam type stuff, full metal jacket, shooting at people on the ground. But this motherfucker is on the ground, and so are the bad guys. And he's right there, and he goes hot, 2,000 rounds. And I saw this dude later in the DFAC, in the chow hall, getting some good-ass omelets, speaking of omelets. And I used to love to make an omelet, mini sandwich, get some of that. We'd have hot sauce sent to us overseas, which inspired the hot sauce I made, which I am going to get back. Anyway, not important. He's in the DFAC, and I remember going up to him and going, "How you doing, bud?" And he's kind of sitting there staring down at his mini sandwiches, and he goes, "He just vanished." And it took me a second. I'm like your buddy? Oh, that dude you blasted with the minigun. Well, yeah, you shot him with 2,000 rounds a minute at 5 feet. He's going to do that. And the kid wasn't sure what to think. And I just remember saying, that's a badass first kill, bro. And it is. But see, even something that cool, which looks great on a video game that these kids or whatever are playing nowadays, it can wear on you. Granted, a lot of sociopaths find their ways to special ops. They find their ways to Ranger School. I've seen them at Buds and at Selection for SEAL Team 6, and I've worked with them. A lot of guys, but not everyone is a sociopath. Some of us just want to be chefs. So it wears on you. It wears on the kid. That's just a cool story. If you are not sure what to do in life, and you're just finishing high school or you're in college, you can always do that, and that's cool because imagine being a door gunner on a helicopter. You get to go to work every day and be a door gunner on a helicopter. Chicks dig it, man. But sometimes with the Delta guy, with landing on the hood, seeing him face to face, I've seen guys up close, and it eventually wears on people. The people you haven't heard about, infantry guys, 101st Airborne. Marines, especially Marines, again, that's a whole other episode of handling business because they know how to do that. But just driving around places like Afghanistan, places like Ramadi, places like Baghdad out west, Al-Assad, wondering when you're going to blow up. Even if you don't, even if you never get hit, that's going to impact you. That's going to be on your mind. Simply thinking, am I going to blow up now? 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 And if you do get hit, a lot of this post-traumatic stress is real. A lot of guys feel it. And what I'm getting at, though, is when I go down to Mexico to do Ibogaine, I get to talk to these guys. And my first trip, again, 2 years ago, was eye-opening for me because, I've worked with the Green Berets, but I've never been in a gunfight, not a long one like they've been in before. Like I said, we got to choose our missions. We could turn down missions if we wanted to. Every time that we worked, we would generally have 3 team leaders. Now, I've done deployments before where there wasn't 3 teams, but you have 3 team leaders, each in charge of a team that makes up a troop. And then for us, 3 troops make up a squadron. So you got, I won't break that down right now unless you want me to later. But you have 3 team leaders on purpose because if a mission comes up, we can talk about it and make recommendations. And I was a lot of times more prone to say no to missions. I wasn't a believer in, I didn't believe in patrol to contact. I didn't believe in strike to develop. I think you're just putting your friends, your brothers at risk because a senior officer is only going to be there for 2 years and he wants to get his high award and he'll put himself in for it. So I thought a lot of that was dumb. So we got to choose our missions, but think about the people who didn't. I remember being in Sharona, being in Shank, being in JBAD, and seeing there's different types of war. I've seen that argument online too, online as well, where and I've joked about FOBITs, forward operating base FOBITs that don't leave the base. I'll joke because their uniforms are clean. They have a tendency to buy up all the lickies and chewies at the PX. So when the guys that are outside the wire or downrange, as the cool guys say it, there's nothing left at the PX. But if you've been over there, you like it or not, and people might not like this, you've been to places where there can be post-traumatic stress as a result. I mean, guys have gotten killed coming out of the fucking outhouse, coming out of the Porta-John, hit by a mortar. So you're at risk if you go over there, even if you're at Green Bean. I've been to Green Bean. I've had Tim Hortons Donuts at Kandahar. Delicious. I've had Salisbury steak after a gunfight and getting mortared, wondering if we're going to get hit. So there's going to be stress. If you're wandering around wondering this could be your last breath, if you leave home and wonder if this is the last time you kiss your kids, that's stressful. Driving around wondering if you're going to blow up is stressful. So Ibogaine is a way out. The issue we're having right now is Congress. The issue right now is Big Pharma. Big Pharma pretty much runs everything. If you've noticed, you ever notice when you're watching whatever your favorite, everything from if you're watching Fox News or my favorite Storage Wars, or you're just trying to get your mind off, when it goes to commercial, which every station goes to commercial at the same time. There's going to be a Big Pharma commercial talk. It's going to introduce you to a new disease, and then it's going to tell you about the new cure that you need to get. And then I love when the guy very quickly and quietly at the end reads off what the potential, this could cause stroke, death, blindness, your wet American ass farts, blah, 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 goes down the list. You might fill your socks with your urine, stuff like that. But Big Pharma is all over everything. They're controlling everything. Every segment is about something Big Pharma. We got locked down because of Big Pharma. Again, not going to talk about that bullshit, but they hate Ibogaine because, why? There's no money in the cure, and this is a cure for a lot of stuff. So they say it's a club drug. This last one I went on, I was with a couple Green Berets. I was with the TF-160 guy. A lot of good conversations, a lot of stress, and a lot of us go there with the same problems. And if you're a veteran who's never seek treatment, what are the problems? You're irritable, you get pissed. Sometimes a sleep deprivation. I'm going to sleep now. I'm an Ambien guy. I've been going to sleep at about 9:30, 10 every night, which is crazy, being as I've got a 17-month-old running around the joint, trying to trash the place, always talking something. But I get to bed at 9:30. I'm waking up. This is how cool I begin. I'm waking up at usually 4 a.m. without an alarm, wondering, now, do I need to wake up right now? Is it a proper time to start the day? And the answer is yes. But if you're getting, every time that we talk in Mexico that we have to go to now because it's not legal, it's the same thing. And I love being in the opening circles because every special operator, every Green Beret, everybody that's there is describing me. They're describing themselves. We all have the same issue. So this is really, really good for healing. It's really, really good for veterans. And there needs to be more understanding about Ibogaine. I was on with Tucker Carlson a few weeks ago. If you haven't seen that, it's a pretty good interview. I was happy with it. But we were talking about psychedelic, and Ibogaine is not a psychedelic. It's a natural plant. It's plant-based medicine. You may not have some visions. You may be shown stuff. Maybe not. Some people have just slept through it, but the medicine works. But I was just on with Tucker, and he asked me how to describe it. And I'll describe what happened this journey, what happened last journey. But the first thing that I have been seeing are demons. And it's just showing me stuff. The demons can be anything. The demons attach themselves. Alcohol is horrible. They call it spirits for a reason. With the evil comes alcohol. And I'm done with alcohol, but I need a refresher every now and then, because you can relapse, and that's when the anger comes out and the spirits are with it. What I told Tucker is, the demons come out. And so he asked me if the demons were real. And I said, yes. And I think he took that as, why would you want to do psychedelics if you're just seeing demons? It doesn't call in or summon demons. The demons come out because you're getting rid of them, and they're going to fight you. They fight me, and I'm trying to get rid of them. So I see them, and then this one I'll get into. But like Ibogaine kicked the shit out of these demons. It was awesome to watch. But I didn't mean the demons just come up and I'm welcome into my house. It means the demons show up and we're beating the fuck out of them. We're going to name them. What did Ray Care say? You can't kill them, but you can claim them, name them, and contain them, or something like that. I screwed it up, Ray. Sorry. But another great quote that just happens to come up on the algorithm because your phone's always listening. It said something along the lines of, if you don't handle your demons, they're going to raise your children. Something like that. I probably screwed it up, but that's real. Handle your demons. A lot of people have demons. Whether you know it or not, what Ibogaine does, it goes back into your past. It makes your mind talk to itself. It shows you things, and then you handle them. And it's very, very good. I feel great right now. I'm very happy with it. But Big Pharma doesn't want it because it's a cure. So with the message I'm going to get to Tucker, I'll reach out to him again. I actually want to get Trevor Miller from Ambio on Tucker's show, because it's not the demons coming out, it's curing the demons. And I talked to Trevor about it, and he said, dude, we're curing heroin addiction overnight. Heroin addicts go there. There's different houses that they have in Mexico. One's a detox house for people that want to kick heroin, and some heroin addicts that are just popping pills too every day, trying to get rid of the dope sickness. They've gone in there with Ibogaine, no visions, nothing crazy, sleep for 12 hours, wake up claiming it didn't work. This just didn't work. I just slept for 12 hours. And they said, yeah, but are you dope sick? No. Do you want any opiates? No. It worked. And that's what it does. It gets you back to ground level. Keep your schedule. And, it's in your system hardcore for at least 4 months. But if you get your schedule down, you're going to be fine. And this is a road to recovery, and it cures. It's a wonderful plant-based natural medicine, and that's why they're afraid of it. Okay, give me a second here, because I got to mention Ridge Wallet, sponsor of this show. I've talked about Ridge Wallet before, and with my background as a Navy SEAL, everything that we used to do, not everything, but a lot of stuff that we used to do involved going up and down, like ladders, things like that. If you're climbing a roof, climbing a ship, visit, board, search, and seizure on a vessel. When you're climbing stuff, you want to be streamlined. I love being streamlined, just because even if you're not squared away, you look like you are. I've talked about Ridge before. It's a streamlined wallet. It's small. It's heavy. This is it right here. It fits 1 to 12 cards while staying completely compact. I mean, look at this bad boy. There's your 1 to 12 cards right there, including your ID. Boom, right there. You're never going to need to worry about it. It's guaranteed for life with a lifetime warranty. RFID blocking technology, so you won't get digitally picked when you're sitting around, and you'll never lose this bad boy. Plus, you can tell right where it is. You got to check out the accessories, too, that Ridge comes with. The key rings, they're completely badass. There are ways to put everything together, so like I said, even if you're not squared away, you look like you will. You will be streamlined, and you'll feel really cool. It's like a concealed carry for your keys. Even if you have loose ends everywhere, you won't look like you have loose ends everywhere. And everything can be color coordinated. You can even pick your favorite NFL team, Major League Baseball team. They can put that on there. You can just look awesome supporting your team. Wedding rings, knives. Like, guys, not only will you look cool, you're going to be cool. Over 50 colors that you can pick from. If you want sleek black forged carbon fiber, a wallet that features your favorite team, or one that matches your vibe, Ridge has you covered, and you can even make it personal, the way you can personalize everything with your colors. Also, check out their phone cases, their wireless power banks, luggage, watch straps for your iWatch. I mean, they're all basically this design. It's that smooth. You can keep everything in one pocket. Oh, and right now, here's the cool thing. They are doing their legendary sweepstakes. You got to get involved with this. It's for the 5th time, and this time the sweepstakes are insane. 2 lucky winners this time will get to choose between a $300,000 Lamborghini Huracan Stirato. There's only 1,500 of these Lamborghinis that exist, and Ridge is giving you the chance to win and own one. This Lambo is the first off-road supercar, which is just cool sounding. A naturally aspirated V10, and it has 610 horsepower. That's a lot. Can you imagine driving one of these around town? Like, my wife has a car, but I got this souped-up golf cart. I will drive this Lambo now just to get to my neighbor's house. I need a Lambo. Also, there's a $150,000 Hennessy Velociraptor. It's an insane 558 horsepower with twin turbo. It's basically an American muscle car put into an all-terrain truck. So there's no reason not to enter to win this. You can enter completely free for these items at ridge.com. Ridge.com, RIDG.com. Why not take your shot? Or you can also choose $100,000 in cash. Could you use $100K? What would you do with that? I would probably put that towards taxes, but that's just me. I'm picking the Lambo. And if you want to boost your odds to win one of these 3 items that you get a pick from, every dollar you spend on Ridge's site gets you 1 additional entry. So why not go check out, grab a Ridge wallet at the site, a power bank, phone case, whatever you need. Rack up those entries. With over 50 colors and styles, Ridge wallet isn't just functional. It's personal. I mean, they can create you can carry all of your essential everyday items, and it just, like I said, you're just going to look cool. There's free shipping, a 99-day risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty on all of their products. Ready to upgrade your wallet? Maybe get a new ride? For a limited time, head to ridge.com. Use code THEOPERATOR. Ridge.com, RIDGE.com. Use code THEOPERATOR. Check out for 10% off and a chance to win Ridge's biggest sweepstakes ever. The Lamborghini Huracan Stirato, Hennessy Velociraptor, $100K. That's awesome. In cash. No purchase necessary, but every dollar you spend gets you more entries. That's ridge.com. Use code THEOPERATOR. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. You can support our show. Tell them you heard it from The Operator. The Operator sent you. So go to ridge.com, use /theoperator, win some stuff, buy some stuff, look cool, be sleek, streamline. Ridge.com /theoperator. And I need to take a second to talk about Stopbox, the sponsor of our show. On the Operator Podcast, I have had colorful discussions with other operators about home defense, defense of your family. We've talked about using firearms. Everyone's got their personal choices. I have all kinds, including handguns. And if you own a handgun for defense, your storage likely fits into 2 categories, the very frustrating categories. It's either locked away where it's safe, but unreachable in an emergency. And when time is of the essence, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, but you need it near you. Or it's near you, but it's unsecure and it's vulnerable to everyone. I have kids of all ages, neighbors coming over all the time. I don't want guns just sitting out. Stopbox USA saw this problem and designed a groundbreaking solution, Stopbox Pro. With Stopbox Pro, you'll never need to choose between security and readiness. Never do that again. Its ingenious push-button locking system gives you fast, reliable access when every second counts, without the hassle of keys or the reliance on batteries. I mean, batteries, they're cheap, and when it matters, they're probably going to fail, but life is expensive. Stopbox is 100% mechanical, so it works every time, no power needed. With Stopbox USA, you can finally have both security and readiness. Stopbox Pro's mechanical keyless system offers for fast, secure access. Again, you don't have the risk of fumbling with keys or messing with batteries when every second counts. I'm sure you've heard the arguments about tariffs also. I don't know if you noticed, it's in the news. There's no need to worry about tariffs here because everything is sourced right here in the United States. Good old USA. All Stopbox products proudly made in the USA at their own facility, which ensures the highest quality craftsmanship of every product sent out, and it creates meaningful job opportunities for American workers. Also, I travel a lot. Traveling with peace of mind is easy with Stopbox Pro because it's TSA compliant. You can securely and conveniently transport your firearm through checked baggage whenever you're traveling at the airport. It also offers a range of other innovative products, including vehicle safe, chamber lock, and other essential gear designed to keep you prepared and protected wherever you are. Stopbox USA will provide this. For a limited time, Our listeners are getting a crazy deal at StopBox. Get 15% off your entire order when you use code THEOPERATOR. And for even better savings, shop their bundles for the best deals on their best-selling products. Check out their bundles and save an exclusive 15% off of site-wide items when you use code THEOPERATOR at StopBoxUSA.com. So go check out all this incredible gear at StopBoxUSA.com. StopBoxUSA.com. Use code THEOPERATOR. Get all kinds of mad savings. You can discover a better way to balance security and readiness with StopBox. Go check out StopBoxUSA.com/TheOperator. So I'm just going to sort of walk you through what we do because it's important to know that it's not a vacation. I know when they first started this, I remember talking to, I think it was Dakota Meyer, my buddy Marine, who Medal of Honor recipient, who rejoined the Marine Corps recently. I haven't talked to him in a while. I got to get in touch with him because he is owning the dash back in the Marine Corps, and I got to hear what's going on there. I want to interview him again, or actually, I want to interview him for the first time because I got to hear what's going on. But when he started going to Ibogaine treatment, I think both he and Marcus Luttrell, someone just said, "Hey, do you want to go to Mexico get fucked up?" Sure. Not quite sure what they meant, and it's not a good time. It's very structured now with Ambio. That probably wasn't even with Ambio. This probably was some dude in a garage, with the bonfire going and all the chanting. But the way it works now, which is awesome, they got great setups down there. They got houses down there, and they have some chefs they're probably not Michelin star chefs, but they should be. It should be a Michelin-starred restaurant in these kick-ass houses. Plus, you're looking at the Coronado Island. Some of these houses have pools, very chill. But the way that it works is you go there, you eat great, you sleep well. Very cool classes, everything from stretching to breath work to yoga. But like day one, you get there, you meet each other, you have the circle talk where we all realize we're all just as nuts as the other. And it's refreshing to get with veterans face-to-face, combat veterans face-to-face instead of online, because it's more real in person. We all realize we have similar issues, but you get there, unpack, have a circle thing, get some good ass lunch, and then you go to the Sweat Lodge, which is insane. It's run by obviously people that are there, but they hold on to the native warrior traditions of a sweat lodge. It's a pizza oven, except hotter, and it's shaped like a teepee. You go inside, it's pitch black. You do some chanting. You go around. You talk about you talk about God. You talk about the earth, the energy. You chant. It's pitch black, so it doesn't matter. And it gets so hot. Like I'm convinced it gets up to 200 degrees. Like your head gets extremely hot. It hurts to touch your hair. There's water in the middle where you dip your dirty cloth, and I'm sure it's not potable water. But you chant. You do all four cardinal directions: north, east, southwest. You're in there about an hour. Sweat it out. Go back. Get IVs. Get geared up. The next day you have stretching, breath classes, intro to Ibogaine, and then you go outside when the sun's going down. You can see the Coronado Islands, a beautiful Pacific Ocean. You take your red pill. It comes in 4 doses. Take a red pill, which is on purpose. You have the questions you're going to ask the Ibogaine or what you're trying to get rid of. You throw it in the fire. You burn it up. It takes about an hour. It's a series of 4 pills. The first one, you take the first one 45 minutes later, your second one, and then the last 2 every 15 minutes. And people are different. It starts to kick in, for me, usually around the hour and a half mark. And the way it kicks in is I start to hear buzzing around my head. You can hear stuff around you. It's time to go upstairs. And the way they have it set up is pretty cool. That we went through with 5 dudes, all in beds. At the foot of your bed is a couple items like a mirror so you can look at yourself, your rattle. They're playing tribal music, a feather, a candle, stuff like that. And I like to sit there and stare at myself in the mirror. It's getting darker. You're hitting your rattle. For me, my eyes started to glow. It's just time to get it on. And what I was doing is even though I haven't had a drink, I went there to solidify no more drinking. And so my eyes got redder than normal, and it was time to lay down. So you just lay down, you put on a mask, and then you let it work. And like I said, it can be anything. You can just sleep, or you can start to see visions. I lay down, and what I wanted to do was I wanted to kick a certain demon out. I didn't like him in my house. The last time I dumped out my last bottle of vodka, I was pouring it down the sink, yelling, "Get the fuck out of my house." And it was sort of a sense of the demon's attached to this. And I might sound like a lunatic. I really don't care. I've been called a lot of things. So, when I was there, we're here I know this demon shows up. When he showed up in the past, the ones I talked to Tucker about, it was a dark, like a really dark, maybe a sort of a light face, but black gums, yellow teeth, red eyes. I was expecting to see him, and I went in there directly to ask him, "What's your name? What do you want? What do you want with me?" So I laid down sooner than I had to because Ibogaine was ready to start. Last time, it didn't start quickly. This time, it was, because I was being direct, I wanted to get down to business. So I lay there, and when the Ibogaine comes out, hard to describe, but I just call it talking to the medicine. He usually sits on my right-hand side, and I was looking for this demon, and he was sort of hiding behind other things. It kind of came in a little bit of chaos. This one started off fast, and he was sort of hiding, but he wasn't a dark figure. He was in a white suit, and he had bright white teeth, and he had blue eyes and blonde hair. And he was kind of saying, like, "Come on, we're fine. I'm not that bad." And he was kind of dancing around. I was trying to confront him, and all of a sudden, Ibogaine was like, "You know what? Fuck this!" And he jumped in there, started beating the piss out of this demon. And I remember one of the guys next to me, who was an SF guy, he said, "Yeah, even before this started, I was having a conversation with this SF guy who was still sitting at the foot of his bed, looking at himself. I have my mask down. I had a 5-minute conversation. I opened it up and realized he's not even looking at me. I'm just talking to something." Anyway, the demon thing started. I'm apparently starting some fight under the blanket. The Ibogaine kicked its ass, kicked him out, and then the nurses were there, and they were like wiping me down with towels because I was sweating so much. This happened for a while. I fought a couple different things, and then I started hearing the other guy start puking. And the way that it works, if something's attached to you, again, I don't know the science behind it, but you can hear guys like dry heaving or just power vomiting all this bad energy out of their bodies. And you can purge. For me, it's sweating, usually sweating. This time it was all the four ones. For the deuce, I did manage to make it to the toilet, getting rid of all this stuff. And for me, you can like feel it coming up your ribs, and you just hawk it up and spit it out, and you almost feel better. But this lasts for, I think the peak for me is about 8 to 10 hours, but the medicine's in your system for probably 50 hours. But that intense stuff there, when the music's playing and you're really getting to the soup. And the soup to the nuts to the soup, whatever they say. You're getting in the thick of it. 10 hours, that's why they were wiping me down, just sweating out all the bad stuff, puking a little bit. They are nice enough to take you to the bathroom. Walking there's tough because it feels like your arms are like 3 feet longer. You're very, very shaky. But yeah, you hear people doing stuff, everything from making noise to talking. You can hear people talking around you. I had a couple different visions. Going down to the ocean again, but it didn't last that long. The Ibogaine was nice to me this time, a lot more violent than before because it had me fight the demons at first, but then it actually let me sleep, I think, for about 4 hours. The guys around me power vomiting the whole time. It was not relaxing at all. Even one of the guys, I had another Navy guy there with me. He was on one side of the TF-160 guy, and then the Green Beret was on the other side. They're both power vomiting. He didn't know if he was hallucinating because I remember him saying, "Are people screaming or is this part of the hallucinations or whatever?" So we all had a fun time in there. Nobody got hurt. Everyone got hit pretty hard with this dose. They did come in at 8 a.m., gave us 2 IVs, and once you're done with 2 IVs at about 9 or 9:30, you can leave when you want. My advice is don't leave too early because you might not be done yet. But the rest of us stayed. We laid back down, and most of us stayed there till like 3 in the afternoon. Got hit really hard with the Ibogaine, shaking everything loose. One guy stayed in there till about 8 p.m., which is good because the day after Ibogaine, you're so drained. They call it a gray day. There's nothing to do except try to sleep. But it's like insomnia, thinking about what you just saw, but you really can't go to sleep. You eventually get to sleep. They'll give you a sleep cocktail. Sleep through the night after a Reiki massage, which is an energy massage. Crazy energy, but whomever it is doing it managed to get the bad energy, everything from your stomach to going. For me, it was a bad shoulder down to a bad knee, pushing it away. You feel great, get some sleep, hopefully, after the cocktail. Wake up, breakfast, and then you just start talking about your next journey, which is going to be 5-MeO DMT, which closes it out. And the 5-MeO is a psychedelic, comes from a big-ass toad, Sonoran toad, I think, that's buried for like 8 months. Comes up, they secrete it. Someone figured out that if you make it into a powder, you can smoke it, and that takes you to the spirit world. So the last thing you do is outside in the sun looking at the Pacific Ocean. and you take a psychedelic 5-MeO DMT, which is the most intense. It is my favorite. And that's the God molecule, which you see naturally when you're born and when you die. So you see it twice in your life, but it takes you to another dimension. And it's so bright and beautiful that if you've heard anyone talk about DMT, they can't explain it. You can't explain it. You need to do it. I recommend it. You need to go in there without trying to fight it because it's very, very strong. And once you get through the initial 10-second stratosphere blast, you're in space and it welcomes you. The hardest part of DMT is when you're taking off, you do get the sensation of passing on, dying and going to the other side. And that's just scary because you start thinking about stuff on this earth. But I'm a believer in your energy and your soul, in your consciousness. Once you pass through the stratosphere, then you feel like you're home. And I remember actually being welcomed, and it's saying you're home. And then you don't really miss anybody because everyone's there. Everyone you love, everyone that's died, they're just there. And I remember my maternal grandmother saying, we're not waiting for you. We've just always been here. We're always here, and we're here. And so that's some pretty cool stuff. And I've heard, I'm a Catholic, and I've heard people say that hardcore Christians say that, well, when you do stuff like that, or when you see a ghost, or when you're just talking to demons, you're just talking to evil. And that's the way a lot of Catholics tend to lean. And I would bet you that they've never done it. They've never seen it or know anyone who has, because it's not evil. It's just something else. And it's something very welcoming and peaceful. This time it went easy on me because normally it's very, very bright, beautiful colors. And I pretty much cry every time I do DMT. It's just, you see something you're not used to, but it's refreshing because you know there's something else. It's almost like God is real and maybe we're all right and we're all wrong. So we should take a wrap off down here on earth because we're all dumb. But you get through that. Like the first time I did DMT, my wife came to watch and I asked her how many days I was out, because you lose track of time. And she said about 3 minutes, which is insane because time goes away. You can't describe it. It's hardcore. But all this stuff, the terrifying, Ibogaine is not a club drug. Neither is DMT. Ibogaine is going to terrify you. DMT, you can't, you're just gone. Even some of the guys that were power vomiting, I went first with the DMT and I heard them outside and they were yelling. Some guys were screaming. And when they got done, I remember giving them big hugs and they didn't know how they were acting. They said, "Did I make any noise?" It's like, you woke up every fucking dog in Tijuana. Like it sounded like we were going on target in Iraq because there's a million dogs barking because you're over here screaming. But they didn't notice and it cured. And again, just the ability to heal, because we've got issues. A lot of people have issues. A lot of veterans have issues. Veteran suicides are at a very, very high rate. And we got to know why. And the answer is not the VA popping pills, and the answer is not vodka. This is an answer. This is one of many tools. There are many different types of natural medicines and psychedelics you can use, and it's not one size fits all. I've tried a lot of them, and a lot of them are cool. Psilocybin's cool. If I was a songwriter, I would have written better songs after taking psilocybin, but that for me is just more chill, and it's not a long-term effect. Ibogaine's my go-to, and DMT is my favorite. And it helps with, I've been angry this summer at certain stuff, and I didn't like myself for being mad. And I started to get short-tempered. I was hypersensitive. That's why I knew it was time to reset, and I went back to Mexico. And now I'm on cloud nine. I'm excited to wake up and smell the flowers and pet the butterflies and get in the ocean, Mother Ocean, which is a cure-all. I'm in a better place now. And I think a lot of veterans can do that because, we see a lot of hate, especially now on the internet. If you're not in that circle of veteran hate, bro-vet hate, don't even waste your time and look for it because it's just wrong. I know a lot of vets are hurting, and I want to encourage every veteran, even people that are, rude as fuck to me. I hope they get healing. I really would like to see them. I want to advocate for them to get to Mexico and get some of this treatment because guys need it, man. It's just because I'm seeing dudes online right now that not only are they trying to get more clicks and get famous by completely destroying people's lives, which they're doing. The fucked up thing is there's not a lot, but some guys are taking pleasure in this. Some guys are laughing about destroying people's reputation and lives and livelihoods. And it's just, if you're out there, especially as a veteran, especially as a combat veteran, even if you did shoot some people, if you're taking pleasure in destroying a combat veteran's life, with suicide at this high of a level, especially when guys are saying, we just didn't see it coming. He just offed himself. If you're taking pleasure in that, the demons have you. That's fucking evil. If you're out there trying to destroy someone's life and then you talk about mental health, go fuck yourself. You need help. You need to heal. I'll tell you where to go. But I mean, like I said, energy's out there and karma's a motherfucker and God remembers. I've seen karma. I try to take the high road as much as I can, and it's always treated me well. But man, going in the gutter like that's for clicks because you want more views on YouTube? Dude, check yourself. You got to be good to each other. I mean, even with the hate, if I know guys out there, if it came down to it, if we get invaded, I'm going to fight shoulder to shoulder, even with dudes I've talked bad about, and I don't like doing that. I'm with Ibogaine now. I don't feel like doing that. I really don't want to. And a lot of us would do the same thing. We're on the same team. What the fuck is going on out there? You know, we remember what's important, and trashing someone just because you feel better about what you did, or just because you're jealous of someone's fame, or you have survival guilt, and you know what you did or didn't do, and you know when you backed out. You know when you took a different assignment because guys are getting killed. You know what you did. We shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be talking about that. We should be building up veterans. We should be making it more enticing for people to want to join the military. Why? If you're a 17-year-old kid and a senior in high school, and you watch some 50-year-old men, 40-plus-year-old men talking shit about other 40-year-old men, what the fuck is wrong with you? Check yourself, dude. Seriously. So the Ibogaine's where it's at, and I think it needs to get legal here. I think, and I've asked, it's expensive to go there. There's no doubt about it. And I've gotten hit at the Operator Podcast at Mchooyah, Mchooyah, on all the social media things, and it's expensive, but I'd like to get involved. You can get involved. Write your congressman, write your senator. Why aren't we doing this? There's a big push right now for better health, for better nutrition, to live better. Why are we popping pills? Why aren't we getting people the natural medicines that have been around longer than the country? We should be. Write your congressman, talk to people, get a legalized Ibogaine shirt at robertjoneil.com just to start the conversation. Learn more about it. I'll tell you more about it. Ask me in the comments. We can talk about this more. I don't want to be continually making podcasts about it, but I'll talk about it because it's that important. And I mean, I feel so good right now. This could be my last one. I doubt it. I mean, it's probably going to be part of my life forever just because I love the feeling. I love starting August with this feeling. I love the summer, man. I love getting in the ocean. The ocean's warm right now. Get out of the ocean. Remember, like if you're depressed, wake up. If you wake up with anxiety in bed, get out of bed. Go outside. Take your shoes off. Walk in the grass. Ground yourself. Energy. Hippie Rob is back. Hippie Nizro. Navy SEAL Rob O'Neill the hippie. Nizrop. Nizho. Oh, what the fuck? I don't know. Again, we're back to acronyms. We're just wrapping it up. But seriously, get out of bed. Don't get depressed. Get outside. Get in the ocean. Salt water cures everything. Think about it. Salty water, the ocean, sweat at the gym, your tears, cleanse, salt water. Figure out a way to cleanse yourself. Figure out a way to heal yourself. Be good to each other. If you're having a good day, call someone. If you're having a bad day, call someone. And you're never out of the fight.